All right, welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about Chapter 8, and we're going to start with C-style strings. So hopefully some of you in your Intro to C class learned about C-style strings. In order to use C-style strings, you need to pound include C string. So this is in C++, remember that C++ comes after C. So in C++, you can use all C-style programming. Of course, there are some things in C++ that have been made easier for you, but let's review C-style strings. So when you declare a string in C, you declare it as a character array. And when you declare the character array, you need to make sure that you have enough space in your character array to accommodate the null character. So this is the null character right here. So if I'm declaring a character array called word, and I want to put happy in there. Happy has 5 letters, so I need to make my array to be size 6 to accommodate the 6th character, which is the null character. And everything in C-style strings, or C strings, depend on this null character. So there are some C string functions. String copy, which is how you assign one string to another, or you assign a string to a character array variable. So you cannot declare like char word2 size 10 and then later say word2 equals hello. You need to use the string copy function. That's for assignment. strncopy allows you to assign a string to a character array. Again, with string copy here, it could be a literal string, or you could assign one string to another string. strncopy takes a 3rd argument, and it allows you to only copy a certain number of characters. strncopy does not add the null character. String compare allows you to compare strings. strncompare allows you to compare strings, but only a certain number of characters. Stringcat is adding strings together or concatenating, and strncat is adding strings together only a certain number of characters. So we're going to go through a couple of examples of this and refresh our C string knowledge. So let's get started. So here's a table of those same functions with a little more explanation from your book. So you're welcome to take a look at these. The one I forgot to add there is string length. String length will return the location of the null character. So in this case, string length would return a 5 and that is how many letters are in the word. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the null character indicates how many letters are in the word. It's very important to understand this concept of how strings are stored. Even the string class is stored as characters in an array with a null character. It's just that the string class in C++ has some added features to help you out. All right, so let's go to the compiler and take a look at the code example. So I have a code example here with C strings. So here in my I've included C string here, so I can use the C string functions. I've also included CC type. I've also had to include this pound define CRT no warnings to make this program work properly. So just to keep that in mind, it did come up and asked me to enter that. So if you notice here, all of my strings are not strings. They are actually character arrays. I have 5 functions here. I have a function that displays a word onto the screen, a function that creates a new string, a function that adds 2 strings together, a function that clears a string, that means to set the null character at index 0, and a function that makes a copy of one string. Makes a copy of one string that's all uppercase letters. So the best way to read code, again, is to let's build this and test it, and then the best way to learn and understand what's going on is to trace the code. So we're going to start, after we make sure this is running, we're going to start from the main function. So let's see what this does. It tells me to enter a word, hello, and it changes my word into all uppercase letters. Also, what it does here is there's a string. It tells me the size of the string. There's another string, and it tells me the size of that string. And so let's take a look and understand what's happening with the code. So we're going to start here in the main function. In the main function, I have declared 5 character arrays, which are C strings. It's very important to understand that you don't use the keyword string when you're doing C strings. C strings are character arrays. This first string will be declared and initialized to be of size, all of these are size 25. I've defined a constant up here, size 25. All of these character arrays are initialized at declaration and initialization. What I cannot do later in C is you cannot do this in C. This is not legal in the language C. And as you can see, I have a red line underneath it. If I want to assign the word hello to word 1, what I need to do is I need to use the string member function called string copy. And string copy will copy the word hello into word 1. So once again, it is not legal to say word 2 equals word 1. This is not a legal thing to do with C strings. If I want to assign whatever string word 1 is to word 2, I need to use the string copy function. This is the destination first, and the source is here. So string copying word 1 into word 2 is the same thing as saying word 2 equals word 1. So please keep that in mind for C-style strings. In C++ strings, which we will do in the next video, that is allowed. Another thing that's not allowed in C strings is you cannot compare if word 1 equals word 2. This is not legal in it's not legal with C strings. Now, if you have C++ 11 compiler, it's probably going to allow it, but it is not, technically, it is not allowed. So actually, I'm going to test it. So again, this is what you should be doing. You should be testing things. So all I did here is I've declared 5 character arrays of all size 25. I've assigned the word hello to word 1. I've assigned whatever was in word 1 to word 2. And now I'm testing to see if they are the same. And this should not work, but this is C++. It would not work in C. So let's see what happens. Oh, it's skipping right over that. Let me clean it and rebuild it. String is so it's not even testing that. I'm not really sure. I'm going to comment out all this other stuff here. Basically, it should not be doing anything except testing to see if they are the same, and they should be the same. All right, so it's not doing anything. So let me see here if I try string compare, if str string compare word 1 word 2 equals 0. So this is the correct way to compare. Let's see if this works. Maybe they're not the same, which means I have to start over. Nope, look at that. So it works here, and it's just because this is not allowed, it is completely ignoring that. It's completely ignoring that condition because you cannot compare C strings using equals equals. But you can in C++ strings, but not in C strings. We are now, this video is a review of C strings. But you can compare them using string compare. So we've already done string copy and string compare demonstrations here. So let's try again. Okay, it's working. They are the same. Let's compare a couple of different strings. They are not the same. So let's compare two words that we know are not the same. So just to remind you that this string copy right here is just like saying word 1 equals hello, only that's not allowed. And this string copy here is assigning to word 2 whatever word 1 is. This string compare will return a 0 if two strings are the same. So we could change this and see if we can. Here we're comparing word 1 to see if word 1 is the word goodbye. And so now when I test it, it should print they are not the same. They are not the same, so that's working. All right, so now there's a couple other string member functions that I've already implemented for you, but I think that it's better for me to type in and show you how they work like this. So we've done string copy, string compare, and the next one we're going to do is string cat. So string cat works like this. So you just use strcat, that's string cat. So when you string cat, you take your destination, say word 1, and your source, we'll do word 3. All right, so before doing this, let's comment what I'm actually doing. I'm taking word 1, and I'm taking word 1, and I'm adding word 3 onto the end of word 1. So I'm taking whatever word 1 is, and then whatever word 3 is, and adding that on to the end of word 1, and then assigning that to word 1. So let's get rid of this so we don't have to look at that again. So word 3 is every day. Word 1 is hello. So after this string cat function call, after this string cat statement, word 1 should be hello every day, all one word. So let's see if that is what happens. All right, so before this, word 1 is hello. Word 3 is every day. So after we concatenate word 3 onto the end of word 1, the new word should be hello every day. Let's see what happens. The new word is hello every day. All right, so we've done string copy, Stringcat, and and string compare. So remember how string compare, it compares two strings and it will return a 0 if they are the same. So we've done string copy, string compare, and Stringcat. Now we can do string length. So string length works like this. String length is a function that takes one argument, which is the string. So we're going to pass word 1. And actually, we could just print it onto the screen. So hopefully you guys understand this. The length of word 1 is all right. So here we're going to use string length. String length returns the size of a string. So basically what it does actually is it's going to return the location of the null character. So if we go back to our notes here, if we were to get the string length of our word here, it's not going to return a 6. That's just the size of the array. It's going to return a 5 because there are 5 characters, and it returns the location of the null character. So let's go back here. So if our word is hello, that is 5 letters, it should be, this string length should return a 5. Then we're going to use Stringcat to concatenate the words together. And then we're going to get the length of the word again. So after we have concatenated hello with every day, we should have, actually let's also do the length of word 3. The length of word 3. So we're going to get the length of word 1, the length of word 3, then we're going to concatenate them together, and then we're going to get the new word 1 and the length of the new word 1, which should be the size of word 1 plus word 3. All right, so the length of word 1 is 5, the length of word 3 is 3. All right. The length of word 3 is 8. I did not put enough end lines here, so let's fix that. All right, let's try again. All right, the length of word 1 is 5. The length of word 3 is 8. The new word is hello every day. And the length of word 1 now is 13. So that's working. I will post this code for you after the video since I've kind of changed things. But now let's take a look at the rest of the code. All right, so this is a function called display word. This function takes one argument, a string or a character array, and it displays the word onto the screen. So in this case, it would display every day. We have create new string, and we have display word again. So let's go take a look down here at what display word does. Display word is going to get the length of a string and print that onto the screen. And then it's also going to print the string onto the screen. So it takes S1 as an argument, which is a character array. It uses the string length to get the length, and then prints the length and also prints the character array onto the screen. This is a function that uses strncopy. So I think I'm going to make a video by drawing a picture of this because it's much easier to understand by looking at a picture. So I will be making another video in which I demonstrate these string member functions by drawing pictures. This adds strings together, so this uses Stringcat to actually add strings together. Clearing a string, it sets the first element in the string to the null character so that it is it is actually, if you go to print it on the screen, it will have no characters in it, because it doesn't actually free the memory. It just actually just puts the null character at index 0. And this is a function that makes a string, takes one string. So this is going to take S1, which has characters in it, and create another string, S2, which is all uppercase letters. So remember that all arrays, unless you put const, well, even if you put const, they're still passed by reference. And if you do not put const, then they can be modified from inside of the function. So the only thing we don't, strncopy, I will demonstrate that for you. And so let's demonstrate a couple more string member functions. We did string copy, we did string compare, we did string length, Stringcat. So now let's do strncopare. The way strncopare works is it takes 3 arguments. So I could compare word, let's see, what are my words? I have okay, so I could compare word 3 and word 4. So just to remember that word 3 is every day and word 4 is every. So if I were to just use strc, if I were just to use string copy, if I were to use string copy like this, they're not going to be the same. So if I wanted to just compare word 3 and word 4 and see if they are the same, they would not be the same, because every day and every are not the same. They would compare them and they would not be the same. The way that you use strncopy is you can say how many characters you want to compare. So if I want to compare 4 characters, EVER and EVER, then they would be the same. So if I compared, so this would return false, and this would return true, because word 3 and word 4, so the way that you use the functions, the C string functions that have an N, they take a 3rd argument in which you just add how many characters you want to do. So let's do it up here as well. So let's do Stringcat. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to Stringcat. So I'm going to strnccat. So here I'm going to do word 1 equals word 1 plus word 3, but only 3 characters. So in this case, I'm going to take word 1, which is hello, and word 3, which is every day, but only take the first 3 characters from every day. Where up here, when I stringcat the entire word 3 onto the end of word 1. Here, I'm only going to concatenate. I'm using strnccat. That's not the same as strcat. And I'm going to only concatenate 3 characters from the word 3 onto the end of word 1. So let's test it and see what happens. All right, so the length of the word 1 is 5. The length of word 3 is 8. The new word is hello, but it only added the 3 characters on there, EVE. And the length of word 1 now is 8, because it was 5, and now it's added 3 new characters onto the end. So now it is the length is 8. Okay, so that was working. Forgot to add this part. On my conditions. All right, so I think this is good for a review of this. The only one I did not cover in this video is strn copy. Strn copy will copy from one string onto the other. Well, we'll do it really quick. Okay, so here's str copy. Now, if I wanted to just do strn copy, what I would do is I would take my source, which is word 2, my destination, which is word 2, and my source, which is word 1. But instead of copying all the words onto it, I only want to copy 2. So where this would, after this goes, then if word 1 is hello, word 2 would be hello. strn copy, if word 1 is hello, word 2 would be he. Only technically, strn copy does not add the null character. So if I were to try to print this onto the screen, let's not copy here. Word 2 is, it should print weird things onto the screen because it will not know when to stop printing. So let's see if that actually, what was word 2? Yeah. So let's see if that actually will happen. So word 2 is he. All right, so there are some things in C++ that are done for you because technically when you use strn copy, if you took it and did it in your C class, you would not get the null character on the end. But I guess because this is C++ and there are things that are done for you, it does put the null character on there. So that's very helpful to know. So right here, we are taking word 1 and assigning the word hello. Right here, we're taking word 2, we're taking word 1, which is hello, taking the first 2 characters of hello and assigning them to word 2. Right here, we are comparing. If word 1 is goodbye, then we're going to print the message that they are the same. And if they are not the same, we would print the message they are not the same. We're using the string compare function. Right here, we are getting the length of word 1 and the length of word 3. Then we are adding word 3 onto the end of word 1. And then we are getting the new word, printing it on the screen. So right here, this would print out the length of word 1 is 5. The length of word 3 is everyday, everyday, 8 letters. Then it's going to become hello every day, and the new word is hello every day, and it's going to give the length. Then here, well, let's see what happens. All right, so word 2 is now he. They are not the same. The length of word 1 is 5. The length of word 3 is 8. The new word is hello every day. So now the new length of word 1 is 13. And the new word is hello every day Eve, because we took the first 3 letters. And the new length of the new word is 16. So let's go here. So here we took hello and added every day to the end of it. And then here, word 1 is hello every day. And word 3 is every day. So then we are adding EVE onto the end of hello every day. So I know that this is a lot, but I'm going to leave this code and what I did so that you can watch this video, follow along, and practice. You should be able to understand the C string functions. There's not that many of them, and so you should understand how they work. String compare, string copy, Stringcat, strn compare, strn copy, strn cat, and string length.